Hi, welcome back. Okay, so where we left off was we got the character to do the climb up action and letting go action, and it can also not move, so that's good. Let's continue. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a wall run. So this will be a basic vertical wall run. To do that, we're going to go to jump, and we have this branch event saying is hanging, and then do a climb ledge, except we want to move climb ledge. Actually, what we want to do is we want to remove jump from here, and we're going to move this to another section. I'm just going to create a placeholder called custom event, well, a custom event, and call it jump pressed, and fire it from false, jump pressed. Okay, and then I'm going to move this and jump over. Where's the stuff? There we go. Okay. This section, this is climb ledge and let go of climb ledge. So I'm just going to comment this and ledge climbing section. It's just for now. Okay, and then we have input jump is pressed, and we want to create a macro just to do a test there, and I'm going to call it is climbing. Open this up, and I'm going to add a branch. Just take the character movement, put it in, pull it in, and get the movement mode. Get movement mode, check if it's equal to no, there should be a enum equal, there we go, to flying, and if it's not equal to flying, then it'll be true. Let's just think about this. So it's going to, if it's not flying, then it's not busy with one of the climbs or grabs or something. We'll just grab output and create two new executables. I'm going to call this not, and this one is okay, and then true goes into not, false goes into is, and on the input I'm just going to create another one, and I'm just going to call this X. You can call it anything else. I just want a short name there, so I'm calling it that. Okay, and then I'm going to pull that in. What did I call it? Is climbing. Okay, so it's going to go to is climbing, and then we want to do another branch if it's not. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the jump that we, not branch, we're going to fix the jump. Okay, this branch is a placeholder for you. We're not going to be using it right now. What this placeholder is a good place to put attacks and dive rolls, stuff like that. So you'll check if it's not busy doing an attack, then only can it continue. The reason I implement this is to prevent issues with the character trying to climb a ledge while he's actually busy attacking someone, doing a melee takedown, or busy doing a dive roll, something like that. Let's just do a sphere trace by channel, and we created this wall tracer earlier, so we can use that because we basically want to trace the same distance, and change that to ledge trace, actors to ignore. You can just make an array. Okay, and then we're gonna check if it's hitting something, and we're going to tell it to jump. So if it's not hitting anything, it's going to jump. Okay, and then if it is hitting something, we want to get the point, break it result, get the impact point and promote it to a variable. I'm just going to call this wall head. It seems a bit redundant because we are doing the exact same thing here. Where is it? Over here. We're already getting the location of the wall, and we're basically doing the exact same trace. There's a reason for that, is not only for debugging, we're going to be splitting things up a little later on. So let's call that wall ahead. If it's jumping, does that, and if it's not, if it is hitting something, it's going to set the trace, and then we're going to need another interface. So we'll go to our blueprints interface and just create another one, and we'll call it wall run BI. Okay, and I'm going to create a bool value to say is wall running. Okay, cool. File and save that. Let's go back to the character blueprint. So now we're gonna get the anim instance again and run that interface. We'll run BI. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna set this to true, and then we're gonna change the movement mode again. Movement mode to flying. Another reason we're doing this, setting the movement mode to flying, is because we are using root motion, and it's got Z movement happening, and it won't happen properly if the character is not in flying mode. Actually, I almost think that move component to, why is it so hard to find this one? Yes. Let's just get the capsule component. It makes life a lot easier. I was busy saying something. Oh yeah, I think the move component to, you don't actually need to be in flying mode, but I'm gonna leave it in flying mode. Okay, then we need to get the wall start location. And what we can do is we can go back up to the grab ledge section here, and we can just open up the wall go to location and copy this. Oh no, don't copy that, so I'm lying to you. But we can get this rotation from there, and we can use that again and plug it in. Okay, so we need to get this wall ahead that we set there, get wall ahead and break it up. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to collapse this to a macro, because this is getting a bit cluttered now, and I'm going to call this align to wall. Okay, cool. So that is collapsed to a macro, and that I'm going to put in here because it's the same thing. Is it the same thing? This is wall trace impact, and this is something else. So this is also wall trace impact. Okay, cool. Let's leave it like that then. Just gonna delete this quick and put in the macro instead. Okay, looks better. Okay, so now we break the vector. We want to plus the Z value. I'm gonna plus this to 100. So I want it to be moving up a little at the start. Let's get the actor rotation to get the forward vector. Get forward. get forward vector. Okay, and then we're going to break it. We want to multiply by 40. So I only want 40 units. The wall run, basically what this is going to do is it's going to check how many units ahead the wall needs to be before it'll actually do this. You'll see now in a moment. And Z we can actually just leave alone. So we want those two. Okay, and then over here, okay, we add it. So I want to say minus and another minus and plug that in. Wait, this is X. X needs to go to X and Y needs to go to Y. Okay, this is starting to look terrible. That's good enough. Okay, and then we want to make a vector. Make a vector. Let's plug the X and the Y in and then the Z as well. Okay, so this should be a good location to go to. And I'm just gonna plug this in and collapse this to a macro and call this wall run start location. Actually, I'm not gonna call it location. I'm just gonna call it XYZ because it's a bit shorter and yeah, because it's shorter. Okay, so now it'll move to the location, and then once it hits the location, I want to set a variable. So create a new bool value and call it is wall running. Okay, and then we set that. Okay, cool. So that is set. Okay, then go to the animation blueprint. And create that new interface, event wall run. I'm going to branch directly from it. So when it fires, it will immediately check what I set the value to. And just to be safe, I'm just going to double check that I set it correctly. I did say it's true. And then I want to montage and play. And after we play it, we want to create a new variable. Let's create a new bool value. I'll call it let's call it vertical run. Well, it's basically wall run. Wall running. Set it to true. I wonder if it'll be neater if we plug it in there. I don't know. Should do the same thing. Might just look neater. Okay, so I'll do that. And then if it's false, so we're stopping it basically, we want to stop the montage. Now, currently we don't have the montage, we still need to import it, and we'll do that now. So let's do that quickly. Okay, so I created another placeholder. It should be on the website. Should be a wall run placeholder. Now it's a very basic placeholder. It's like the others. Okay, cool. So it does do something there. Just change root motion. Enable it. Okay, and then save it. Just go back to it and then right click create animation montage. I'm gonna leave it at that, and then update your group to the correct group or slot. I mean slot, not group. Create a new animation notify under notifiers. New notify, and we'll call this one wall run end. Select it, go to event, make sure it's set to branching point. Okay, I'll save that. He's doing a little bit of a spaz there. I didn't have a nice reference. Okay, and then we can update our, but I close it now. We can update it here. Just select the wall run and stop the wall run if it's false. And we also want that end run, wall run notification that we created. I'm going to plug this into the stop as well, just to make sure we're not missing anything. And then I have a wall run end function, or event rather. You don't have to, let's do it this way. Get the pawn owner, and then from there we're going to do the wall, call the wall run interface, and if it's stopping, then we set it to false. Okay, and then we go back to our character, and I'm going to add that interface, wall run, event wall run BI. I'm gonna say stop movement immediately. So basically, when the animation blueprint tells it that it needs to stop, it's stopping completely. Set movement mode. Movement mode to falling. So we want it to fall if it didn't reach anything. Okay, and I'm going to reset the wall ahead. I'm going to reset that back to 0, 0, 0. The reason for that is we'll do a check later to make sure that if the wall ahead variable was never set, it won't continue. And I'm also going to reset is hanging and climbing ledge. Where is my wall run though? Is wall running set? Let's do that one first. Okay, so set that to false, and then do is climbing ledge. Set that to false as well. Okay, and then what we can also do, we should have another stop wall run function to tell the animation blueprint when to stop. So just create a custom event, add custom event, and call it stop wall run. Okay, and get the animation instance, or what you can do is we did it over here. We got the anim instance and told it about the wall run. In this case, we're going to set it to false. And we can modify this one a little to say it, okay, but also execute this stuff. But I'll much rather have it tell the animation blueprint, okay, do this. And then for redundancy purposes, it's going to come back this side and tell, okay, do this. So when are we going to execute this? This is actually more like a bug proofing, I guess. So if we're running inside a cave, for instance, and we're running so high that we're hitting against the roof, we want the character to stop. We don't want him to keep running in the same place with his head against the roof there. But before we continue developing this section, let's just see where we are at the moment. Technically, he should do a wall run there. And he is, as you can see, is starting and then stopping immediately. And I'm wondering if we're setting something wrong. I think the setting was falling. It set the character to falling, not to flying. So we'll get in the section and jump pressed custom event we created. We set the movement mode here before moving the component to the location, and we'll set that to flying. See how that works out. Okay, it's getting a little bit better, so it's getting also confused now due to the fact that the ledge is so close. So what I'm going to do is, just for testing purposes, I'm going to copy this. What did it actually copy now? Not sure. So let's try that again. Okay, it's copying something. I don't know. Maybe it's copying its pivot. That is super weird. Oh, crash. I'm gonna have a crash, am I? Something's weird. Okay, sorry about that. The engine did crash on me, so I'm not entirely confident that everything remaining does look like it. So let's just carry on. It's very important to save often. Like after every node creation, save. Let's try it again and see if we can actually copy it this time. Oh, it's doing some weird stuff again. It's probably going to break the entire thing again. What the hell is its problem? Why can't we just copy and paste a mesh? Dude, that is so weird. Okay, so what I had to do was after you copy and paste it, I'll have to submit this as a bug report. So after you copy and paste it, you might notice that your mesh is suddenly missing in actions there. So just to show you, copy and paste it and then it's gone. I don't know why, but that happens. So we'll just select the mesh again. Hopefully the collisions are then still good. It looks good. Okay, so I'm going to scale this up significantly. There we go. And then we can try the wall run against this. Okay, it's still not going up. I don't know what is happening. Maybe my location is not correct. I see this falling one is back, so I'm just hitting that to flying. I'll try it one more time. Yeah, much better. Okay, so this time it's actually going up the wall and goes to flying. And you know, these little animation glitches you can get rid of just by adjusting your graph. Okay, so we need to continue. So I'm going to scale this down a little bit because I want him to actually reach the top. Where we do the check before the ledge grab, we have the heap ledge height, and it was on -50. I made it -70 to just give it a little bit more room to actually grab onto it. So it should be a bit more consistent now. Okay, so that does look like it's working better. I also picked up another issue where you would occasionally not rotate correctly to the wall. And you would also not always play the animation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this, but this is going to start looking a bit terrible. So for now, for this purpose, what we can do is just copy this. Can grab. Where did it go now? Oh, okay. I'm gonna just put a state to there. Directly from upright to the grab, and that should get rid of the problem, except we need to make sure that it can go further than that. Once it's in it'll only go back to jump loop, and that's fine because yeah, that's not a problem. Okay, so this time it should be more consistent grabbing onto the ledges, and so that was quite a easy fix, except I shouldn't say things like that because something's gonna get jinxed now. I know it. Okay, so it's looking good. Quickly comment this, make this look a bit better. I just called 9 wall run logic. It still looks terrible, but for the interest of time, I'll leave it like that. Okay, and as a test, basically, what we're going to do is copy this thing again. Let me just save everything before I try that. Okay, gonna rotate it. It works on rotations, it just doesn't work on... Oh, now it works. Weird. Okay, get this up here. I'm gonna move it just a little bit down. Much down. Well, I don't think we'll be able to see anything, will we? Okay, yeah, we can see fine. Okay, so check, that's what I was talking about. It just keeps going for as long as it needs to wall run. So we're gonna fix that. I'll just go back to a character. I just want to see what we're doing. We're doing a ledge height trace, and then we're also doing a wall trace. So I guess before we're doing the wall trace, why are we even doing this wall trace apart from getting those two variables that we're using? Oh, it's because it's a sequence. We want to run this trace and that trace at the same time, so it doesn't really matter where it goes. So we can just plug this in line. So I'm going to do another small trace, sphere trace, single sphere trace by channel, exactly what we did before, except radius will be 20. Sorry, I just want to quickly check here that this radius was updated, and it wasn't. Never did that at jump pressed. That has an impact. Okay. Change this to ledge trace, and we need to make an array for this, and we're going to quickly calculate how we're doing this trace. So I'm going to do this in a macro from the start because stuff is getting bad. I'm going to do call it roof trace. Come now. Do I have to rename it? Yeah. Okay, so roof trace. Okay, so we've got roof trace. Move this up, get the actor location. So we want to know where it is. Break this up. What's happening? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the forward vector. So I'm going to get the rotation of the actor. Rotation. Why am I not getting it? Get rotation. What's this? Get rotation, right? Okay, in any case, just get actor rotation. Get the forward vector. Okay, and I'm gonna multiply it by a float. I'm gonna multiply it by 0.95. 0.95, and then I want to add it to the other one. I think so. Some birds in my house again. Hearing noises. Damn pigeons keep coming into my house, and then the dogs are jumping the glasses and stuff off the tables trying to get to them. Good times. Okay, so after we added those, we want to break this vector, and we just want to make it again. So we just want to make vector. Okay, and minus, sorry, not minus, plus, because we want to go above the character. We want to trace straight up. Oh, and the reason we're doing times 95, it's so that it's not exactly right by the center of the character, that it's actually going a tiny bit backwards. Just plus. Why is it? Sometimes stuff happens. Okay, cool. So we've got that, and then we're gonna have the output create two vectors, start and end. Start, end. Okay, we'll still fix that rotation problem at a later stage. Right now, I just want to get most of the stuff done. So we can plug that in now. We call that the roof trace, and we'll do that. We're going to do a branch from the roof trace and check if it's hitting something. Okay, and then if it is hitting something, I'm going to do another branch. and I'm going to check, is it busy wall running? If it is busy wall running and it did actually hit something, I'm going to say do once and reset it if it's false, and then if it's completed I'm going to stop the wall run. Okay, but now we're causing problems for this wall tracing. So I think the best thing to do, oh yes, this is what we need to do, disconnect it from the end there, and then if it's not hitting something against the wall, it can continue with the other trace to check for that. So we'll just comment this and call it roof check, so we know. And then another thing I'm quickly going to do, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to do this, is disconnect this. I'm going to leave this in here. I'm going to move this up and comment this tick event. I'm just going to make it red because I like seeing my tick event in red, knowing that it's there. Okay, so that's probably, I'm just making some leeway quick for other stuff. So this will be my tick event. You don't need to do this, I'm just doing it. Okay, and then we're going to do check trace, and I'm going to create a custom event. I'm going to call this, what can I call it? Busy tracing or do trace. I'm going to call it do trace. Okay, cool. And then if it can trace, it's going to fire do trace. Okay, and do trace is going to be firing this. So the only reason I did this is to create some better project organization, because it's starting to get a bit crazy here now. This I'm going to move there, and I no longer have to worry about that. And this entire section here, this I can actually move that side. So this entire section is dealing with the ledge tracing and wall running and things like that. So we have a nice start now. It looks just better and neater, more organized. Okay. I keep losing track when I do things like this. I think that was, we were busy with checking if it can do. So it's still not stopping. And that's possibly why. I don't know, let's check. Okay, so we are doing the roof check at the same time, and it's doing a roof trace, doing a ledge trace, and then it checks if it's wall running. I think the issue is that it's not passing this branch here, and that's most likely because we didn't tick to true. It needs to be true. There is wall running, must be true. Okay, so let's test it again and see if it's any better. Yeah, so the moment it hits it while it's doing wall run, it stops. That's exactly what we wanted. And the other stuff is still working, so. Okay, so it's getting there, slowly but surely. So that was the wall run function, and in the next tutorial what we'll be doing then is fixing the bugs, but I think main priority should be to get you to do the following, which would be checking when it's running up a wall, because just one quick example before we cut this tutorial is that I'm going to move this guy out now because we know it's working. We're going to move it down a bit. Okay. Is this that it starts wall running and then it does that? So we don't want it. We want it to keep going up until it actually reaches a point where it can just stand up on it. So we'll go through various phases where it climbs up with its knees, hands, falls back down, or actually just steps onto the top if it's high enough. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching. Cheers.